Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the special presentation. My name is TotalBiscuit. I'm taking a bit of a break from StarCraft 2 at the moment for reasons that you will find out hopefully in the next week or so. It's very cool, it's very big, you'll be very excited, I am sure. In the meantime, however, I'm going to give you a first look at the Medal of Honor beta, which just opened about 30 minutes ago. Well, I say 30 minutes ago, it opened about 5 hours ago. The site's been hammered into the ground, and I've only just managed to gain access. However, I'd like to give you a look at this. I'm going to play through a couple of multiplayer matches and give you a rundown of what's available. So you see here I'm in the Helmand Valley based on a real location. I've got 3 potential classes that I can start with. So I'm going to kick it off with a Rifleman. Let's have a look at the gear. So this plays in a similar way to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It's got a little bit of Bad Company 2 mixed in there for good measure. So we're dealing with mostly unlockables and moddable weapons. Those are the 3 classes I've got available. I don't have any kind of customization available here. I think that's just a beta bug right now. So just bear in mind that obviously this is a fairly early beta and there are going to be some issues with it. So let's deploy and have a look and see what's going on right here. Alright, so I start in my base. I'm actually playing as a Taliban fighter, and yes indeed, they do go as far as to say that this is Taliban versus Coalition. And this mode, as far as I can tell, involves defending a series of objectives while the Coalition attack it. So you can see that I'm a Rifleman, and I'm going to go and have a look around and see if I can find someone, and yeah, absolutely terrible. So what you can see initially, straight away, those of you who played Bad Company 2 will be aware that it takes kind of a few hits to bring somebody down. It's more of a chaotic game, a lot of explosions going on, and obviously a lot of destructible cover. In this game, it seems they've gravitated a little bit more towards the realistic style of gunplay, and the fact that you die incredibly fast, as you will see repeatedly. There you go, got a grenade there as well. This makes sense really, because Medal of Honor is obviously designed to go straight up against Modern Warfare 2, so you can't really blame them for it. There we go, terrible, and down straight away once again. Battle rifle to the head, very nice bit of sniping there. Now, what you can see to start with is that it's a fairly good looking game, but as far as I'm aware, this is not running in DirectX 11, might not even be running DirectX 10. The multiplayer mode is done by DICE, so it should be running under the Frostbite 2 engine, which is what powered Bad Company 2. Now, you know, Bad Company 2 looked an awful lot better than this, but that's fine. Again, it is a beta, and DirectX 11 was not enabled in the Bad Company 2 beta either, so I would expect better texture quality, better effects, and fidelity in the full version. But it is running fairly well. It was running at a solid 60 frames a second on high at 1080p. It's running at 25 at the moment as a result of fraps going here. So performance-wise for an early beta is fairly promising. Now, as I discover, this is actually one of the final areas that we've got to defend. We've been pushed all the way back up this hill right here, and venturing out there, not a particularly good idea. A lot of fire, a lot of places that they could potentially be hiding. Let's have a look at the sniper class and see what that's got to go with. Now, what I found odd initially is you can see right there's a red dot sight on the top of this SVD semi-automatic sniper rifle. You don't get a scope initially. This is something evidently you have to unlock. So you don't get to zoom in all that much, but it is fairly accurate, and it's not a bad weapon at all. I started level 1, as I would imagine everyone else has played. I think I saw 1 level 2 in this game. Bear in mind, it came out so close to when I actually recorded this, so I don't expect anyone to have leveled up and got anything nice as of yet. Let's have a look around and see what we can find. There are several vantage points here. This is very clearly set up as a defensive position. There you go. That is a nice gun. What I like about this so far that I found is that the guns do feel as good as they did in Bad Company 2 in terms of their power. Now, a lot of people had problems with the gunplay in Bad Company 2. I wouldn't say that the guns here are laser accurate, but they do feel like they've got an awful lot of punch behind them, and obviously they do take down people a lot faster than the guns in Bad Company 2 do. Now, bear in mind that you might think this is bad and that you just end up getting killed over and over again, but you're not in an area that's going to be covered in explosions. You're certainly not in an area that's going to be covered in vehicles. Nice, excellent. That was a good little streak there. And you'll see down the bottom right, I actually have unlocked a mortar strike, or potentially a defensive kill streak ability. Something similar to Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, but at this point in the video, I didn't actually realize how to use it, so I'll show you one of those a little bit later on. Anyway, back to the point in hand. the cover is not destructible, and you're not dealing with tons of explosions going off everywhere and tons of vehicles coming to mow you down. So it is okay that you're a little bit more fragile. It's okay that your weapons are a little bit more destructive, simply because you should be playing more cautiously here. I'm playing Special Ops here, which gives me access to an RPG-7. Nice iron sights on that one, tilted slightly to the right. Didn't manage to get anyone, but that mortar strike certainly did. That's one of the first level of Killstreaks. Fairly destructive, very nice indeed. And as you'll see later, you use a pair of goggles, just like in Bad Company 2, to call that down. It's done a lot faster than it is in Bad Company 2. Now, even with that weapon, it's got very nice accuracy over a solid distance, which is not the sort of thing you would have seen with some of the earlier guns in Bad Company 2. Definitely going for precision there, definitely going for team play as well. That's the objective. We need to continue to hold this roadblock, and by the looks of it, we're really getting pushed back fairly heavily. Now, what they could use is they could try and bring a vehicle in, which would do a great job punching through. I mean, right now, we don't have all that many guys with RPGs, as far as I can tell, so I had to go back to sniper since I had the most luck with it. But there are a couple of vehicles available. As far as I've seen thus far, there is a Bradley available, and I believe there's some kind of Humvee. I don't think there's a Humvee on this map, but there is a Bradley available on this map, and I've been on the receiving end of it, and it's not very pleasant, as you might imagine. Not so much of a vehicle-oriented game, though. Again, it's going up against Modern Warfare 2 in the way that Bad Company 2 didn't. I mean, Bad Company 2 is a great game, don't get me wrong, but Modern Warfare 2 is focused all the way on the infantry combat, and say what you like about it, it does it very well. So EA have got a few problems here trying to deal with that. But so far, I mean, this is a fairly solid game. It's got the style. You can see the very Modern Warfare 2 style flashes of your kills right there, even more stylish and flashy than you saw in Bad Company 2. And there we go. We actually managed to hold out in that position. Now, that was about half a match, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the other side of things. I'm going to show you the Coalition. It'll be the same map. I believe there's only 2 maps available in this particular beta, and Helmand Valley does come up again here. Now, again, this is like Rush, but it's got a set of more defined objectives. You got to take certain points, and it actually gives you a voice briefing. It tells you where you got to go and what you've got to do. So let's load up here, and we shall check out the Coalition side. And this will also show off one of the vehicles in the game, which is the Bradley APC. Again, it's rather surprising that they're actually willing to go all out and say, yes, this is the Taliban, this is Afghanistan, this is a real place, and this is the kind of thing going on. I imagine there'll probably be a bit of controversy surrounding it, but they have said that they do want to respect the soldier, and, you know, we'll see how that goes for them. It's a fairly impressive-looking game, nonetheless. Now, I've got the sniper here again. You don't have the range. You certainly don't have the scope there. Just the red dot. But it's a fairly nice weapon, nonetheless. That's a battle rifle. You don't actually get a long-range sniper rifle initially. Now, I honestly call that a fair improvement from Bad Company 2, because you started with one of the best sniper rifles in the game. The N24 is considered to be an extremely good weapon. A lot of people still use it all the way through, even after unlocking all the rest of them. So it's good stuff. Take a few pot shots out of there, and this is our first objective. We've got to actually push out of here, and the Taliban do spawn close, and we'll try and hold us off. Now, I'd imagine our Bradley will manage to push us through. You can hear the alarm in the back there. It appears that you've got to place a bomb on several. Again, it's like Rush, but it's instead of just going for all of those MCOM stations, it's actual objectives, and it does describe why you're there, as opposed to blow up MCOM stations and stuff happens. Switch up the Special Ops class, which I don't think is going to help me all that much. You get the same weapon, but you don't get the underslung grenade launcher. You get a anti-armor weapon instead, which in this map is fairly pointless. Now, the anti-armor weapons, I would suggest that they may have some limited use, considering that most of the cover is not destructible. Some of it is, but nowhere near as much as Bad Company 2. You can't run around with a Carl Gustav blowing holes in every building you come across. Now, I don't know what's unlockable later on with Special Ops. Perhaps they get some other weapons, but I would suggest that Special Ops is going to end up being a little bit underplayed on maps like this, because, again, the Taliban don't have any vehicles available. So why carry a rocket launcher around when you can go assault, you can get the underslung grenade launcher, and you can advance as a firing team. I'm securing the area right here, and there is a mountable machine gun, but there's nothing in front of it, really. I'll get on it in a second just to have a look around and see how it handles. There you go. Very similar again to Bad Company 2 there. No big surprise. Didn't get it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. pushing our way through here now. What I have noticed is the way that the levels are designed is fairly meticulous. Now, I wouldn't say that Bad Company 2 is haphazard, but it's designed with the idea that everything's going to blow up in mind. Now, here that's not the case. You've got a lot of cover littered around, and it blatantly rewards you for advancing as a team. You secure the objective, you go forward fairly cautiously. Since you die very fast, you do have to overlap your fields of fire and use all the cover that is available. Now, this map seems to be fairly well designed in that regard. Now, I was telling you about this Killstreaks earlier. That's a mortar strike. I'm just going to drop it there for the sake of it. There's no real point in me doing that. I just wanted to show you. Nice visual fidelity there. Probably reusing a lot of the effects from Bad Company 2, but it's good stuff. There are an awful lot of Killstreaks available, as well as Hellfire missile strikes, cruise missiles, and in this game they're split into offensive and defensive Killstreak bonuses. Now, I assume that you can pick between them when you get a Killstreak. You can either, say, drop ammo for your team, or you can do something offensive, but you only get to pick one. It's a fairly interesting mechanic, and I'd like to see how well they do it. DICE is also claiming that you have hundreds of available weapon combinations here. And again, it's difficult not to compare this to Modern Warfare 2 because it's blatantly obvious that that's exactly what they're aiming for. If you have Modern Warfare 2, I suppose the question has to be posed, why would you buy this if you want to do multiplayer gaming? Because it does seem to be fairly similar. From what I can tell, the gunplay is really solid, and as opposed to Lone Wolf style of gameplay, which a lot of the modes in Modern Warfare 2 actually encourage, it's a little bit more team-based, a little bit more methodical. Now, one of the big advantages, of course, is that it does support dedicated servers, and it is coming out after Modern Warfare 2, so I'd imagine they're going to steal the best bits and move from there. I mean, DICE is very established. Bad Company 2 was a great game, though what I will say is that DICE, they don't have all that much experience in really solid team-based stuff in regards to infantry. I mean, Bad Company 2 was a good foray in that regard, but it was still fairly vehicle-based, and it was very chaotic. So I have to wonder whether or not they can pull off a proper precision shooter. They haven't really shown any evidence of that in the past. From what I'm seeing of it thus far, though, it does look fairly solid, and the maps are very nicely set out. I like this mode. It is more structured than Rush. And Rush is basically throw yourself at the enemy over and over and over again, try and break them down, drop a bunch of rubbish on them, just Carl Gustav them, vehicle them, and in this case we have one APC, that's leading the charge, and the rest of us are trying to charge up the hills, take as much cover as possible, look for firing angles, and try and work our way inside, disable the opponents and do that. I'm actually staying alive, which is fairly unusual for me. Trying to push our way in. Now, this is where the other guys got stuck when we were defending as the Taliban. So let's see if we can do any better. It's not like they're defending too well. We've cleared out quite a few of them, moving in there to place the C4. Now we need to defend that and make sure that they don't disarm it. Shouldn't be a problem. We have a Bradley there, and it doesn't look like they have all that many spec ops available to deal with it. Got to watch out for the snipers from the roof there. There's a lot of potential angles they could be coming in from. Move our way through and see if we can sweep and clear. Like there's too much to worry about at the moment. Now, the aim is to try and capture that sort of villa up the top there. But you see how fast you die in this. Now, listen to this. There you go. So, you are given this voice direction, and the use of voice communication in terms of from player to player, this involuntary voice communication where if you got shot up by the sniper, you would automatically shout out that there's a sniper around and that kind of thing. That's good. It adds to the atmosphere, and it does give you that extra element of situational awareness. It's good that they've kept that. It's also very nice that they've enhanced that by adding in audio objective descriptions. Oh my god, you die so fast in this. You've got to be really aware. If you're going to run around as a lone wolf in this, I can't really see you're going to get all that far. And obviously you can be really good, you can be really pro, but just because you can die so fast and there are so many areas that you could get hit from. Now, let's try and push our way through. You've got to watch out. You can wander off the map. You see in the mini-map at the top left of the screen, if you wander into that area, and there we go, we actually won it. So you get a nice Bad Company style ending there. So overall, it's solid. As I said, the guns feel good. graphics are fairly solid. Obviously, it's a beta, so something will have to be done about that. It's not as good as it will be in the final product, but it's solid. I'm looking forward to seeing how the leveling works out, and whether or not they manage to balance it properly. And Bad Company 2 didn't do as good a job in several areas as Modern Warfare 2, in that a lot of the guns were not side grades, they were straight-on upgrades. Now, if they can balance it properly so it's all about choice and customization, as opposed to this gun is blatantly better than the other gun, then I think they'll be onto something. It's good fun. Looking forward to playing an awful lot more of it, and hopefully you guys have gotten something out of this video. So I shall see you hopefully in the next couple of days with more StarCraft 2 replay footage. My name has been TotalBiscuit. Good night.